Shocking turn. Former FBI Chief James Comey faces potential indictment for alleged deception. Is justice finally catching up? Imagine a high-stakes drama unfolding in the heart of American politics, where a once powerful figure in law enforcement could soon be held accountable for what some call a serious breach of trust. This isn't just another headline. It's a story that dives deep into allegations of dishonesty at the highest levels. And it might just redefine how we view accountability in government. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this be a political vendetta? Or is it a long overdue reckoning? Stick around, because the details ahead might surprise you and challenge what you think you know about power and truth. In a development that's sending ripples through Washington, federal prosecutors are gearing up to indict former FBI Director James Comey on charges that he misled Congress during a pivotal 2020 testimony. According to fresh reports from reputable outlets like the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post, the Department of Justice aims to move forward with this indictment as early as Thursday. For those new to this saga, let's break it down simply. Comey is accused of not telling the full truth when questioned about the FBI's involvement in the now debunked claims that the 2016 Trump campaign colluded with Russia. This isn't just about words. It's about whether key facts were withheld or twisted, potentially violating federal laws against lying to lawmakers. The clock is ticking here. The statute of limitations on these potential charges expires on Tuesday, adding urgency to the proceedings. To put it in everyday terms, think of it like a legal deadline. If prosecutors don't act now, the opportunity to pursue this case could vanish forever. And this is the part most people miss. The indictment is reportedly pushing ahead even over internal objections within the Justice Department, highlighting the intense debates happening behind closed doors. Adding fuel to the fire, a recent tweet from commentator Eric Doherty highlighted demands from Stephen Miller for the DOJ to hold deep state figures accountable. Miller, a former Trump advisor, pointedly named Comey alongside others like John Brennan and James Clapper, accusing them of undermining democratic processes. It's a bold call that echoes broader frustrations with perceived overreach in past administrations. President Donald Trump himself weighed in on Saturday via Truth Social, urging swift action against Comey and other figures he believes have escaped consequences. In his post, Trump referenced Attorney General Pam Bondi and expressed exasperation over what he sees as inaction, naming Comey, Democratic Senator Adam Schiff from California, and New York Attorney General Letitia James as guilty as hell. He emphasized the need for justice, drawing parallels to his own experiences with impeachments and indictments. For beginners, this underscores how political figures often use public platforms to push for accountability. But it also raises questions about whether such calls influence legal processes. MSNBC reporter Ken Dilanian provided more insight, revealing that the indictment is expected in the Eastern District of Virginia. Interestingly, a prosecutor who reportedly opposed the case was recently dismissed, which could spark debates about fairness in how cases are pursued. Dilanian noted that while the full scope of charges remains unclear, at least one key accusation centers on Comey allegedly lying about authorizing a leak of sensitive information during his September 30, 2020 congressional appearance. The 5-year statute of limitations on such charges is set to expire soon, making this a race against time. To add context, let's connect the dots with some background. This ties back to the FBI's probe into Russian interference in the 2016 election, which has been widely discredited as lacking evidence of collusion. Comey's testimony was part of a committee investigation into the Bureau's handling of those allegations, and any deception could have misled lawmakers and the public alike. But here's where it gets even more intriguing and potentially divisive. In December 2020, during the tail end of Trump's first term. Republican Senator Ted Cruz from Texas sent a letter to the Justice Department highlighting contradictory statements from Comey and former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. According to Cruz, McCabe claimed he informed Comey about approving a media leak related to the investigation, and that Comey gave his blessing afterward. Comey, however, denied any knowledge or authorization. Cruz bluntly stated that one of them must be lying under oath, which is a serious federal offense. This discrepancy could be central to the charges, illustrating how conflicting accounts can unravel trust in institutions. For example, imagine if two witnesses in a courtroom told opposite stories about a key event. It forces everyone to question the reliability of the evidence. A tweet from conservative Ox summed up the sentiment with a mix of sarcasm and accusation, calling Comey a sanctimonious tallboy who weaponized the FBI and leaked memos like a sieve, turning the Clinton email probe into a partisan circus. It's a sharp critique that captures the polarized views on Comey's tenure. As we wrap this up, it's worth pondering. Is this indictment a step toward restoring faith in our justice system, or does it risk turning legal proceedings into political theater? Could Comey's actions be seen as mere mistakes in a high-pressure job, or were they deliberate attempts to influence outcomes? And what about the broader implications for former officials? Should they face scrutiny years later, or is there a point where the past should stay buried? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree this is overdue justice, or do you see it as selective prosecution? Share your opinions in the comments below. Let's discuss. Tags Contributor. News about the author. Jack Davis is a seasoned freelance writer who joined the Western Journal in July 2015, where he covered the historic campaign that brought President Donald Trump to office. Over the years, he's delved deeply into topics surrounding the Trump administration, international affairs, and defense matters, always aiming to provide clear, insightful reporting. Jack Davis is a seasoned freelance writer who joined the Western Journal in July 2015, where he covered the historic campaign that brought President Donald Trump to office. Over the years, he's delved deeply into topics surrounding the Trump administration, international affairs, and defense matters, always aiming to provide clear, insightful reporting. You can contact Jack at jackwritings1@gmail.com. Location, New York City. Languages spoken, English. Topics of expertise, politics, foreign policy, military defense issues. Advertise with the Western Journal and connect with millions of engaged readers while backing our mission. Advertise today. https://www.westernjournal.com. Advertise US.